Hi, this is Roger. Thanks for dropping by. I don't know what you guys think, but I think this one might be taking a little trip out on Saturday because with the sheer number of blooms and there are a number of canes in bloom, I don't think that would do bad at a show. Unfortunately, it will need a show tidy, and that in itself might make an interesting video. The canes need to be brought together more to give a better impression of a mass display of blooms. I mean, it's very loosely tied at the moment, so if I get a chance, I'll take that out in the kitchen and film what I do to get that what I think is show ready, because it would probably be okay as it is, but I can make it better. And that's the whole point. If you're going to put a plant in its show, it needs to be as good as it can be. My only worry is that these earlier blooms, the ones that came out first, looking at their colour, I hope they make it till Saturday. What was it today? Wednesday. You know, these are newer blooms opening. You can see they're a paler yellow, and the pink's a bit more prominent, and as they age they become a deeper, quite honestly more attractive yellow. But I'll see how I feel about filming that, but it needs straightening up a bit. It needs pulling in nearer to the centre and possibly twisting some of the canes very slightly to make sure the blooms are all round the outside. That's one way of doing it. The other way of doing it is to try and twist the canes so that all the blooms face one way, and that would be its presentation front, if you know what I mean. But I'll see how I get on. I'll keep this little clip separate and then I can add on to the end of it. Okay, let's have a go at getting this ready for a show. I know a lot of you wouldn't be interested because you don't show your plants, but some do. The first thing to do is untie it. Now that's actually sat in the black pot for a very good reason, because in the bottom of the black pot is a huge rock. And the reason that's there is to stop the pot falling over while I'm working on it, because otherwise it will. So get rid of the old stakes, because I don't know where I want the new stakes yet. Get rid of the old bits of raffia. Now I've got some spare stakes here. They've been sterilised and cleaned. Obviously, if it's going to go into a show, we don't want bits of dirt and leaves stuck to the canes and all stuff like that. Now the first job really is to find the old canes that have either got no leaves, but trouble is some of them have actually got buds, so I'll have to go careful, but the ones that have got hardly any leaves or no leaves need to be put in the middle, out the way, because the rest of the canes, the nice ones with leaves and with blooms, need to go around the outside of them and cover them up. So that one's got buds on, so I need to watch what I'm doing with that or I'll lose the buds. But those three, that one's got buds on the top, but those canes just need to be tied together in the middle and they'll be hidden. Oh, another one lurking down there. Do you know, I'm going to cut that one off. Been meaning to do that for ages. Well, now's a good time. It's a manky little cane serving no purpose whatsoever, so you can just come off along with that stumpy friend you've got next to you. So let's get rid of that for a start. Right, so I just need a small piece to tie those canes together. I don't remember which ones it is. It's that one, which has got buds on, so we'll point the buds outwards. That one's got nothing, that one's got buds down the bottom which I don't want to knock off, and that's got blooms at the top and no buds. So if I tie that in with these, those buds will stick out, the blooms will stick out over the top. I'm going to tie this quite low down because the other canes will come in and hide this tie, because it looks a bit obvious really. So we'll try and hide it. Play hide and seek. Remember what I said about a knot? If you go round twice, it won't slip. You see, all these canes are trying to escape, but by going round a second time, when I pull that, it won't slip. So there we go. Cut the ends off while I can get at them, because once I start bringing the other canes in, that's going to be in the middle, hopefully hidden. Now the next logical one is this one. I think actually I'm going to put a stake down through that tie because they're leaning over and I want them straight upright, bolt upright in the middle. So I'm going to put a cane down through there so that I can keep them upright in the middle, like that. That's better. Yeah, that's better. The idea is that those blooms will come out over the top. Now this cane, I want to go about there. Yeah. And then this one with the leaves on will come in there and hide the bottom. Now, can I do that with simple little clips? Or should I tie it? Let's go and get some of my clips. I'll be back. I changed my mind. I've got a long memory and I can remember the last time I took a plant using those plastic clips, those clampy things that just, not the ones that grab hold of with the spiky bits, I just mean the ones that go like that, is you've only got to move the plant slightly and they're gone. And then you've lost the position. So I'm going to tie. As I said, the first one I want is this one, and I want that one there, so that these blooms come up over the top of there and it all looks like it's part of the one without manking any of the blooms with any luck. I'll tell you what, there are an awful lot of happy sap around off these blooms. My fingers are getting sticky already. Never mind. Now this tie doesn't matter if it shows, because that cane there is going to get pulled in. So again, tie a knot, yeah, and then go round again, and it won't slip. And then I can pull that to exactly where I want it, which is about there. And then the second one will hold it tight. So that's that cane in there. Now I want to get all the blooming ones in their position before I start mucking about with the ones that have just got leaves on. The idea being that it looks like a mass blooming. And all the blooms are facing outwards. So I need that one about there. Pardon me. Pasty I had for lunch. And if you're doing ties, try and think about something to hide the tie. It can't always be done, but a lot of the time it can if you think ahead. You sort of think, well actually, when I've tied that, the blooms will flop down over it and the tie won't show. Because a mass of string, or in this case raffia, looks so untidy. Right, we're getting there. I'm not going to... Alright, now I need to get this one in now, without losing that bottom set of blooms. I think we might have to start a... That's really heavy with that rock in there. I think I'm going to have to start a second cane now, a second set. So I need another stake. And that is the central point, the one I'm holding. So I need the stake to go just in behind that so that most of it doesn't show. About there. Yeah, about there. Right. Probably end up doing all this and then I won't bother taking it. And a lot of it, I know it sounds silly, but a lot of it will depend on the weather, because I don't plan on getting soaking wet, mucking about taking things to and from the car. It's the sort of show where I've never taken anything to this Orchid Society show before, ever. And at the moment, I don't even know what time it starts. Nobody's sent me an email. I don't know what the show schedule is. I don't know what time the plants are supposed to be registered by. I don't have any forms because nobody's sent me any. And all this would have been done at my normal Orchid Society. I'd have had all this by now, well in advance. And the other thing I don't know is the classes of the plants. So I don't even know which class this one would be suitable to go in. Any other hybrid or something, I don't know, but I haven't got the information from this Orchid Society yet. I may have missed it, it might be on the website. But I didn't see it and I did look. So I'm lacking information at the moment. Now this silly little cane here has got blooms on the top, but it's facing the wrong way and I don't think I can twist it. But what I can do is bring it to the outside and put these nice leafy ones sort of like that, so that at least the blooms are sort of pointing out. Alright, so let's get those two leafy ones done next. They'll cover up the bottom. Because of the way this is growing, you know, there's a lot of canes. A lot. And that's a shed load of buds. Well, we need to show off our buds, don't we? As part of the judging process is the potential of the plant. You know, how close to as good as it gets is this version of this plant. It's part of the judging mechanics. But then I doubt if anybody else has got this one, so they won't know. They'll just have to judge it based on, you know, nobly hybrids in general. And at the Bournemouth show, I didn't see anybody with a yellow nobly, so this one's going to stand out. That's the theory anyway. Oh, get in there. Clumsy. Right, so that's that one done. So two done in fact, with one tie. Now hopefully those will now twist round. Yep, so they point outwards, even though that one is upside down. Right, now this one, with the buds on, has got to go in there. Whether it likes it or not, it's going in there. The reason being that it's green. And the buds don't matter. But obviously they're not out yet. And I don't think they're going to be out by Saturday either. Yep, you can go there. Tie that one too. That one back there. Because the tighter all the canes get together, the harder it is to get your hands through to get your tie around. Now again, you see, if I tied that there, it would show. But if I tie it above that leaf, the leaf will cover the tie up. So we'll do that. And that will help cover that tie. I don't want that one too tight. I just want that to fill in that gap nicely. Whoops. We didn't really want that to happen, did we? It is only raffia at the end of the day. Which is, I don't know what, straw? But that was me being a bit aggressive there. With the old tying. That's another thing, see, if any of these ties are under strain, you know, things are trying to escape, and I get this plant wet, taking it into the show, then all the raffia will just come undone. If you get this stuff wet, it don't last long. There we go, and that leaf covers up most of that. Jolly good, so far we're doing okay. Let's come around this side and see what we can do. So these blooms in here I'm not going to be able to do much with, but I wonder how tall that cane is. Will that cane go in behind those blooms and come out over the top? Oh yes it will. Right, we'll have some of that then. That one can go there. That fills that in nicely. I didn't know whether that cane would bend without damaging the cane, but you can see they are flexible. There is movement in them. You can hear it creaking, but there's movement in there. So it's bendy enough to be able to just sit in behind that little bunch and hold itself just there. And then the blooms on the top of that cane sit directly below the blooms on the previous cane, making it look like there's lots more blooms. I'm tying here without being able to see what the hell I'm doing. There's a leaf in the way. There we go. That's that one done. There's not much left to do now. This one needs pulling in, that leafy one, because he'll help make the base look nicer. But what can I tie into? Let me just tie in there actually. And if I tie that above that, I don't want to whack those buds off, because even though they're not, I'm not showing the buds, but you know, when I bring it home it would be nice to still have some buds, and they still open a bit later on. In theory this will be in bloom for flipping ages, but right, where did I want to tie that on there? Not too tight, don't want to make it look like it's garroted. Right, and that one, because that tie does show, we just whiz it round like that so that the knot's at the back and then it don't show anywhere near as much. There we go. There, and then those look as though they're coming out from under there, except that one that needs to go up over the top. Yep, that's not bad. So far so good. What have we got left to do then? I think the only cane left to move is this leafy one here, and all I want to do with that is just get it a little nearer the middle. I don't want to mess with that one too much, quite honestly. Yeah, I think if I just pinch that one there, yep, and then that leaf will come across. Yeah, that's not bad. That didn't take. I know that might seem like an awful long video and a tedious job, but of course, you know, there's something else I've still got to do after I finish tying it. I've then got to clean the leaves because they're covered in sticky at the moment. And if people see sticky stuff on leaves, they naturally assume bugs. And if anybody thinks there's bugs on your plant, you won't be allowed to bring it in. You'll be escorted from the building, you know, one under each arm like that. Two big heavies will take you out, throw your plant in the trash. No, you don't take bugs or infections into a show. It's an outrageous thing to do, and put it in amongst lots of other plants quite close together and pass your bugs on to everybody else who might not have ever had any. You just don't do that. I think I'm happy with that. And if somebody decides to turn it round, that, where's the camera? Let me get that in view. That effectively is the back view. So if anybody wants to be pedantic and look round the whole plant, there are some blooms round the back, but effectively the showing view, where's the camera? Yeah, that's the show view. Let me just raise that camera a fraction. Yeah, so that's the view that they will see. Yeah, front view. Got a few blooms to just reposition so that they look like they all come out together. Those are just opening, so those will be open by Saturday. Nice line down there, nice line down there. That set of blooms arches over, and you can come up a bit. That leaf's in the way of those blooms. Now, do I take the leaf off? No, they can peep through. They can peep through. Whoops, kick the tripod, why don't you? Anyway, that's it. It's just my luck if half those blooms go over before Saturday, won't it? But yeah, can't do anything about these dead bits of cane that are sticking up here, because if I cut them, I'll get marked down on it. Yeah, and there are buds on these canes farther down. Well, I'm certainly not going to cut a cane off that's got buds on. That would be silly. Yeah, I'm quite pleased with that. Those blooms have set themselves out quite nicely. There we go then. One nearly show ready. As I said, I should just get some cotton wool pads and some, you know, just some soft water, basically some RO water, and just gently give these leaves a wipe like that, clean them off. And then the only other thing I've got to do is dress the pot, which basically will mean, I'm not going to film it because it is tedious, it'll just mean tucking some newspaper or something down the side of the clear pot, yeah, just to hold it in place, and then put some tissue paper or something over the top of my potting bark, and then just put some bark chips round to the surface of that pot, so that you can't see the pot inside. All you can see are my small pieces of bark up to the level of the top of that pot. Yep, I'm happy with that. Yay! And I might put the Cattleya in, you know, the blousy Cattleya with the big magenta blooms on, but to put that plant in, the two blooms that opened wrong, I would have to put right, or take them off, and I'm certainly not taking them off, because the two that have just opened are up the right way, they're nicely spread, they're perfect, but the other two are just wrong. As I said, one of them's virtually upside down, and I don't think I can straighten it. I just don't think I can. And the other thing I might take along is the little Tolumnia that's out. Well, I'll think. It depends on my mood on Saturday and whether I can get the relevant information from this particular society, because they seem a bit slack at the moment. But it might just be that it'll all come through in an email tomorrow, and I'm worrying unnecessarily. But at the moment, I haven't got the information I need that got. Okay, thanks for watching, and yeah, I think that'll do. I don't know whether it'll do well in as much as it gets certificates and stuff like that. I just think it looks a nice plant, and it'll make a nice addition to their display. If it gets anything, you know, pretty little rosette or something, that's all well and good, but that's not really why I put my plants in. I put them in to take part. So we'll see what happens.